welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Shalitha Maxine and you are officially a BFF. So guys, your eyes are not deceiving you. I am back with another tutorial. This client was so gracious enough to let me record and I'm glad I did. This will be a Valentine's Day inspired look. Jumping right into it, I have already cleaned her face with witch hazel. And now I'm just going to go ahead and brush her brow hairs up so I can clean them up with a straight blade. Anytime you're using a blade or a razor to clean up your client's brows, it's always wise to go ahead and stretch the skin just in case there's any like pimples or anything that you can't see. You want to make sure you don't snag that. And then I'm also cleaning the hairs that I removed with witch hazel on a cotton round. Now I am priming her face with Too Faced Hangover Primer. She is doing a photo shoot, so I wanted to make sure I used a soft matte primer. And that's really what it is. It is a replenishing primer as well. I am now doing her brows with the Max Brow by Max Lux Studios. And this is the shade Mocha. And you guys know how I do my brows. Nothing has changed with that. The only thing I will say is that I have gotten a lot lighter with my strokes, so my brows are not as dark as they used to be. And I'm pretty much just following her brow shape to the T and just kind of like exaggerating it, if you will. This beauty is actually the first client since I've been back to the brushes. As you guys know, I was on maternity leave, and then as soon as I thought I was coming back, we got hit with 2 new variants, so I had to go on another hiatus. Now I am slowly coming back and taking all necessary safety precautions to protect myself and my family, and I hope you guys are doing the same. Now I introduce to you the Max Carve. This is the 1026 brush hitting Max Lux Studios in March, and I literally cannot wait till you guys get your hands on this brush. This is going to be neck and neck with the Max Precision. I'll be dropping a promo code specifically for my BFFs, so I am so excited for you guys to bring this to your kit. I love this brush. It's wider. It's a little bit more rounded, so you're really able to not go inside the brow, because sometimes with angled brushes we kind of go inside the brow a little bit, but this one is just absolutely perfect, and it's ultra flat. I love that. It's big and flat. It covers a lot of ground, so you guys are definitely going to love this new brush. Of course, you guys know I'm doing the lightest shade on the arch, the tail of the brow. Look at how flat that brush is. Oh my god, I love this brush. And I'm doing a shade darker on the top, and then I'm blending that out with a tapered brush, of course. To base her eyes, I'm using the P. Louise Rumor Base in the shade 0.5, and I'm applying that with that same tapered brush. And I'm making sure I get all the crevices because we're going to be going a little bright with the shadow, so it's important that we cover all areas. Now I'm using a little bit of bronzer just to soften up the eyes. I did not want the brow to be too harsh in the beginning. Now I picked up the shade WCW from the Signature Drip palette, and I'm just tapping that up there with the Morphe M433 brush until I get the intensity that I need. And this will be my transition shade. As you can see, I'm going right on top of her crease. This lets me know where I need to cut the crease. So whenever I do a transition shade, especially if it's not too light, I like to go right on top of the cut crease. Now I am using the shade Red Bone from the new Persuasion palette from Beauty by Melissa. And I am tapping that right on top of that transition shade as well, right on top of the crease. And you'll see me going back and forth until I get the intensity that I need. I need a little bit more darker because I really want it to pop to show that it's that red color. Cutting her crease with the Max Carve, I am using the P. Louise Rumor Base in the shade 0.5. And as you could see, I am dragging and also pulling down. You'll see me use 3 different methods to achieve my cut crease. It is the dragging method where you drag the outline and then you pull down. It is the tapping motion where you'll see me kind of create almost a stencil to trace. And then you'll also just see me filling in the cut crease. So once the shape is drawn out, of course. I'll be tapping, almost like stamping, and then filling it in. So you definitely want to take your time, but like I said, this Max Carve brush really makes cutting a crease so easy. I wanted to kind of get a feel for it, so I said, well, let me use 3 different techniques to see, you know, how everybody would like it. And I would say each technique definitely achieved the look that I was going for. I usually spend like 15 minutes on cut creases, but this has cut down my time significantly. So I definitely can't wait till you guys get this brush in your hands. This will be your new fave brush. I also want to mention that it's smart to hold the brow by the arch, so you really get a good stretch of the skin to fill in that cut crease. Now I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm pretty much just tapping off the excess base because I am using a matte shadow on top, so it's important that I get that base as dry as possible, but still tacky enough so that the shadow adheres to the eye. You'll see me wiping off my brush. I'm not wiping off of my clothes. I'm actually wearing an apron, and that's what I use it for. So you'll see me going back and forth from the eye to the apron just to kind of wipe off anything else, because the last thing you want to do is put wet base on a dry eye. Now I'm using a flat small eyeshadow brush, a small eyeshadow brush, and I am using the shade Nudes from the Signature Drip palette. I love this shade. This is my go-to matte nude shade. So, I mean, hence the name Nudes is definitely my favorite. I made sure to use a flat eyeshadow brush in the beginning of the cut crease, and then I used a fluffy eyeshadow brush. This is the Morphe M433 brush to finish out the cut crease. And I am tapping that color up there. Like I always say, whenever you're using matte shades, definitely tap that shadow. The last thing you want to do is like swipe that shadow back and forth, because it will give it a chalky effect and it is really hard to cover up. So it's important, especially with lighter matte shades, that you tap that shadow up there. I say it all the time. Now I'm going back to that flat small eyeshadow brush, and I'm just filling in the edges, making sure no base is showing and all areas are covered. Now I'm using the Mocha shade from the Signature Drip palette, and I'm just filling in that cut crease on the edges. And then I'll also be using the brown shadow from the Zulu palette by Juvia's Place to go right on top to kind of deepen up the outer cut crease. So dropping gems all 2022. I know how much you guys hate when white liner cracks. So here's a little trick. Basically, whenever you're using a white liner, you definitely want to use the Max Hold Lash and Glitter Adhesive, or any glitter glue, to be honest. You want to put that on first, allow that to dry, and then you go on top of that with any white liner. NYX white liner, Dior white liner, Plain and Makeup by Yolanda white liner, any white liner. And this will prevent the cracking. It is the absolute best gem I could give you when it comes to white liner, because let's be honest, all white liquid liner cracks at some point, and I can't stand it. Now to use, we're going to be using rhinestones, so I have sped this process up a little bit, but I use the Max Hold Lash and Glitter Adhesive to act as a adhesive, of course, for the rhinestones, and I'm just placing that right on top. And these rhinestones I got from Amazon and the beauty supply store. The silver ones I got from Amazon, and the color ones I got from the beauty supply store. Because she is going to a photo shoot and she'll be under heavy lights, it's important that we keep that makeup as dry as possible, since I won't be there to retouch her. So I use some calamine lotion in the areas that she is most likely to get oily. Now for foundation, I am using the black Opal foundation stick in the shade Truly Topaz for her outline. And I'll be lifting her baby hairs to kind of get under that. You definitely don't want to miss any areas. Thank God they weren't like glued or gelled down, because it would have been very difficult for me to put the foundation on. Now I'm using the shade Hazelnut as a under foundation contour, so that way once her foundation is completed, all I have to do is just touch it up with some powder contour, and we're all set. So I love this trick. This is another gem that I'm dropping. It definitely helps, and it also eliminates the use of any extra products because now I don't have to put cream contour where I would normally do it. So that's something that I've changed up as well. Now I'm using the, I believe this is the, yes, this is the Estee Lauder Doublewear foundation that I'm using for the center of her face with a little bit of NARS Tahoe. You guys know I mix foundations all the time. I never overlap foundations though. I always put them in different areas of the face so I get a nice color contrast, because for the most part, especially melanated women, we are two-toned and three-toned, so this gives me the coverage and the color that I look for. As you guys saw, as I'm starting to blend in her foundation, I started at the jawline. I'm also going to be pulling it down. So she's going to be in a photo shoot. It's important that we get that neck as much as possible. I don't want her foundation to look like a mask, so it's important that we pull it down. We also put it on the ears as well. I'm using my Real Techniques Instapot brush, and I'm just tapping that up there. And yeah, I'll be quiet now. Okay, I'm back. I know that was quick. So as you can see, her contour is still showing up, and that was exactly what I was going for. So when I apply the bronzer, I know exactly where to go. Now, when I do tutorials, I'm trying to stay away from beauty blenders because I know not all makeup artists use beauty blenders. Y'all know I like to use my Max Blur on the forehead, but I said, well, let me use my brush to kind of eliminate that because some are against beauty blenders and when it comes to clients. So me, I would give my beauty blenders to my clients after I'm done using them, but I own Max Lux, so I'm able to do that. I understand all makeup artists aren't, so I'm using all brushes for this face. I am now concealing, well, highlighting with concealer, of course, and I'm using all Too Faced concealer for this process. I'm also cleaning up her wing liner so it's nice and sharp. We're going to be doing a heart, kind of like an arrow through a heart, so I want to make sure that wing liner is as sharp as possible, and I'm using my Max Carve to do so. I mean, guys, look at this flatness. Ugh, I'm just so excited for this brush. I love it. It is literally, it might take over the Max Precision, I'm not gonna lie. But either one is great to have in your kit. I'm now using the Max Mini Fan to dry that concealer down. I want to get it nice and tacky so that I have as much coverage as possible. And to blend it out, I'm using the Real Techniques highlighting brush. I love blending out concealers with a tapered brush. It gives such a nice blend. So to make sure it's as seamless as possible, I did pick back up my foundation brush and use whatever residual foundation was up there to make sure that there's no lines of demarcation and that everything is nice and blended. To bronze her up, I am using the MAC Sun Power. This is MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Sun Power. And I'm using a big fluffy rounded brush to bronze her, and I'm going from temple to right above the corner of her mouth, and then I'll be also taking it up a little bit on her forehead as well as the jawline. So to contour her nose, I'm not using a cream. I know I usually use a cream, but I'm actually using the medium to dark contour palette from Black Radiance, and I'm using my 406 brush from Max Lux Studios to to contour her nose. Now I'm using the Sacha Buttercup setting powder, and then on the outer portion of her highlight, and then I'm using the RCMA setting powder for the under eye. I like the under eye a little bit bright, so it's good to use a nice translucent powder directly under the eye. So to carve out the heart, I am using the Viola Max Matte lipstick from Max Lux Studios. And I am not the like most artistic when it comes to like drawing. I'm not a special effects artist, so I didn't realize how difficult this was. It was very difficult. And I don't know if you guys could tell, but I was shaking. I'm like, oh my God, this heart needs to come out good. I've never drawn a heart. So I think I did pretty decent. I would definitely practice more. But overall, I think I did okay. And I'm using a super thin eyeliner brush to draw it on. If you are going to do a heart, I would recommend using a matte lipstick, of course. Like I said, this is the Viola shade from Max Lux Studios, and this lipstick is only $5, so definitely worth every penny. So I didn't use any blush for this look. I am using the, I believe this is the medium bronzer from Juvia's Place to kind of give it a little bit more depth. And I'm lining her lips with MAC's Cork lip liner. And I'm going a little bit above her natural lip line just to kind of give her that plump, kind of puckered lip. For lipstick, I did mix the shades Letha and Jacole together. These are both Max Mattes from Max Lux Studios. And I used a brush to apply that. Now I'm using my Max Carve to clean up the outer perimeter of her lips to make sure it's nice and neat. Now I'm using a small blending brush to buff that out to get that ombre effect. I typically don't work with gloves, but now I'm trying to be as safe as possible, I guess you would say. And don't worry, I changed my gloves throughout this entire session like 4 or 5 times. But I didn't realize how difficult it would be applying lashes with the gloves, so I went ahead and picked up my MAC applicator to help me out to get the lashes nice and snug. And these are the Jazzy lashes from Max Lux Studios. These will also be releasing in March, along with about 3 or 4 different other styles. So I'm excited to bring this to you guys as well. Now I am using my foundation brush to kind of brush away all the residue from the RCMA. And for the nose, of course, I didn't want to use a big brush, so I used that Real Technique setting brush to brush away that extra dust as well. I sprayed her face with the Morphe setting spray, and now I'm using the brown shadow from the Zulu palette for her lower lash line. Because I didn't want to leave like an open space, it just felt incomplete. I did pick up the Inglot gel liner in the number 77 for her waterline. And I just love, look at that. Oh, I love the look. She had a little bit of shadow and white liner on her natural lashes, so I just took the rest that was left on that brush and I just covered up, concealed basically where the white liner was. Now I'm using mascara, of course, for her lower lash line, a little bit of her top. Make sure those lashes are nice and flary. So believe it or not, nose contouring has not been my strong suit. I'm trying to get better at it, and I haven't fully mastered a good technique. But what I've done coming into 2022 is I've learned that I really don't like the obvious, like, contoured look. So I wanted to conceal a little bit. I did pick up the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and I covered that up with a small blending brush. Now I'm using the Max Glow Loose Highlight, and I mix the shades First Place and Grand Prize. If you have this highlight, it is so important that you spray with a setting spray prior to using it so that the particles could actually adhere to the face. I love this highlighter because it gives you a natural glow as well as a super dramatic one if that's your look. So that was just a little quick tip about using the Max Glow. And I always use like a big fluffy tapered brush as well. This is an old brush from Real Techniques. I forgot what that brush is called. Now to blend everything together, I am using the foundation brush. And I am also applying the Shantae clear gloss to the top of her lips to give her that shine. I think a red lip would have been really, really nice with this look as well. But I love this pinkish nude. It's just a very popular lip. A lot of my clients would get this lip. So I do like it too. I like both. She could have got away with either or. And yeah, this is the completed look. I finished her off with the Morphe setting spray, of course. Cleaned up her baby hairs a little bit. And wow, she looks absolutely gorgeous. Do you guys like this look? Give me a thumbs up if you're digging this look, because I absolutely love this look. I can't wait to have her back. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.